So we'll begin by setting our motivation. So we think that the purpose of these sessions, Monday nights, Monday afternoons, being meditating on bodhicitta, is to fulfill Khandala's advice for Lama Zopa Rinpoche students to focus on cultivating bodhicitta and also impermanence. These specific Lamrim realizations, which will help to clear away any obstacles to Lama Zopa Rinpoche's swift return. So I think that given that Lama Zopa spent his life encouraging Lamrim realizations, that we're following not only Khandala's advice, but the Guru's advice. Which strengthens our connection to Lama Zopa Rinpoche. So we try to think strongly, may the merit of this practice create the causes and the conditions for Lama Zopa's swift return. All right. So we've done the equanimity meditation and we've done the 7-point cause and effect, or 6 points and 1 effect meditation, however you phrase that. So today I thought we'd go a slightly different variation as well. And there's a meditation by Lama Zopa on how to meditate on the refuge and bodhicitta prayer. So I thought that's the practice that we would do tonight. So we'll recite the prayer 3 times, and then we'll engage in a meditation on how to understand, how to internalize the meaning. I go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until enlightenment is achieved. Due to the merits from giving and the other perfections, may I achieve enlightenment in order to benefit the transmigrating beings. I go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until enlightenment is achieved. Due to the merits from giving and the other perfections, may I achieve enlightenment in order to benefit the transmigrating beings. I go for refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until enlightenment is achieved. Due to the merits from giving and the other perfections, may I achieve enlightenment in order to benefit the transmigrating beings. So now, with those motivations fresh in our minds, we'll take our meditation seat, finding a stable, comfortable, upright position, serviceable for meditation. So we think about keeping our feet flat and our back straight, torso open, hands in the lap right over left with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. Our eyes are gently closed or slightly open, making sure we let in enough light to remain alert. We try to avoid slouching or leaning. maintaining an open, upright spine and chest, but also letting go of any unnecessary tension or rigidity in the body, allowing the body to fall into place. And begin to pull back from attending to the environment, allowing sights and sounds to be as they are without investigation, holding your awareness just to the body and mind. Noticing quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation, concentrating your awareness by attending closely to the physical sensation of the air moving into and back out of the tip of the nostrils. Noticing quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation is arising in the mind, and without judgment or frustration, lifting your awareness up from that distraction and placing it gently but firmly again and again on the breath. Sorry, didn't realize. Okay, so we'll begin contemplating Lama Zopa Rinpoche's advice for how to meditate on the refuge and bodhicitta prayer. So he advises that first we generate a sense of renunciation toward our own suffering by thinking, I myself have been experiencing the oceans of samsaric suffering from beginningless rebirth. So, with regard to these samsaric sufferings, Lama Zopa advises that we bring to mind first the specific sufferings of the different realms of existence. Of course, within those realms, the hell realm or the Narak realm is where the beings are experiencing the most intense suffering. So, whatever descriptions we may have read of the hot hells, the cold hells, it's said that one spark in the hot hells is greater than the entire fire energy of the earth. And there are beings in the cold hells that their entire body completely solidifies, breaks apart from the cold, and then reconstitutes, and breaks apart again and again. And the suffering of the hungry ghosts, overcome by hunger and thirst, unable to effectively do anything to mitigate an intense, unending, unquenchable desire for food and drink. The suffering of the animal realm, exposure to the elements, constant fear of predation, starvation. The thick veils of ignorance that cause beings in the animal realm to operate mainly on instinct. The sufferings of the human realm, from the shock and discomfort of birth, and sufferings of aging, sickness, death, constantly being separated from what we enjoy, being unable to separate from what we don't enjoy, having to work against, fight against the arising of afflicted states of mind. And then even the suffering of the upper realms, the demigods being jealous of the gods, and the gods being intoxicated and unable to practice, unable to develop their minds, and then coming face to face with their death, knowing that their next rebirth will be lower, having exhausted so much virtuous karma. having contemplated these experiences that our mind has taken rebirth in associated forms, giving rise to those experiences again and again, countless times over beginningless past lives. Try to get a sense of how you yourself have suffered in samsara. And then think, if I don't discover the Four Noble Truths, true suffering, true cause, true cessation, and true path, I will have to experience the general and specific sufferings of samsara endlessly. And then think that while I myself am presently experiencing a perfect human rebirth, there are innumerable, uncountable sentient beings in this moment presently experiencing the hells, the hungry ghost realm, animal realm, human realm without the 18 qualities of a perfect human rebirth, and even the suffering of demigods and gods. All of that suffering is happening in every realm right now. And try to use your own previous contemplation to develop a strong sense of compassion, thinking that it's unbearable that even one sentient being is suffering. And then think based on concern for my own suffering, as well as compassion for the suffering of these innumerable other sentient beings. I must rely on the highest, most sublime, truly infallible source of refuge, the triple gem, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So generate that strong sense of reliance. And then we'll begin to contemplate the aspect of the prayer associated with bodhicitta. Lama Zopa instructs us to think when we say, in order to benefit, may I achieve full enlightenment in order to benefit. We think that what we're contemplating, the benefit that we're contemplating, is liberating numberless, uncountable, transmigrating beings, completely freeing them from this ocean of samsaric suffering and its causes. Joining that with the thought that we can't wait even a second, that the suffering is unbearable. And we think that not only do we want to free sentient beings from these oceans of suffering, we want to install them in a state of perfect, complete happiness. To bring every sentient being to full enlightenment without even a second's delay. And Lama Zopa encourages us to seal the prayer with whatever understanding of emptiness we have by thinking, may the I, who is merely labeled, achieve enlightenment, which is merely labeled in order to benefit the transmigrating beings who are merely labeled. And in that way, we generate all three of the principal realizations of the path: renunciation, bodhicitta, and correct view of emptiness. Try to bring to mind the emptiness of those three spheres: the emptiness of the person seeking enlightenment, the emptiness of the sentient beings on whose behalf we're motivated to seek enlightenment, and the emptiness of enlightenment itself, recognizing that the enlightened state depends upon causes and conditions, and therefore is empty of inherent existence. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together. Any thoughts or questions? Nope. So then we'll end with the swift return prayers. Peerless teacher and assembly of the children of the victorious ones, Shravakas and Prajeka Buddhas, victorious Losang, father and sons, along with the lineage masters, all the objects of refuge of infinite lands, please bestow the virtue and goodness of accomplishing this prayer here and now. Holding and spreading the Muni's precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice, you wear the armor of patience that is never discouraged. Incomparable venerable Guru, to you I make request. While striving single-pointedly for the sake of the victorious one's teachings, the sole gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and from other living beings, you suddenly departed to peace. What a great loss. Nevertheless, through the undeceiving truth of the blessings of the ocean of the three jewels and the great waves of bodhicitta, of the children of the victorious ones, may the smile of a reincarnation swiftly beam in glory for fortunate disciples. One written by Kanjala. Guru, think of me. Guru, consider me. Gracious Guru, care for me. Root Guru, most gracious and kind, do not deprive us of your compassionate refuge. Listen and consider this heartfelt prayer made by a tormented disciple. Guru, you embody the blessings of the Buddhas of the three times. You may rest in great bliss, equipoise within the dhatu of unimpeded luminosity, yet the playful dance of your loving compassion can emanate in myriad ways. The swift appearance of your magical wisdom, the Rupakaya. The time has come for you to care for us once again with your affectionate compassion. I invoke you, I call upon you, I implore you on behalf of all beings. Arise, arise, arise from the Dharmakaya. Do not rest in Kachara or another or other pure celestial realms. Rather, to benefit the Buddhist teachings and all living beings, swiftly return to this southern continent to spread the Buddha Dharma of study and realization. Quickly return to guide us poor, wretched beings. Such is the desperate cry of us, your disciples. Return so that we may actually behold your presence and receive the blessings of your enlightened body, speech, and mind. All violations, errors, mistakes, and broken samaya that we have made in relation to your spontaneously present body, speech, mind, and activity, through our being baffled, confused, and conceiving things in erroneous ways, we confess within the luminous emptiness of your three kayas. Of everything auspicious, the supreme auspiciousness, may there be the auspiciousness of emptiness and compassion conjoined, and the emptiness of a timely meeting between master and disciples. Through the force of the truth of unchanging suchness, may the unmistaken incarnation return quickly. This lament was made by me, a dakini with pure faith and samaya, her eyes filled with tears of sorrow. May these wishes of a beggar woman be fulfilled through the blessings of the deities of the three roots. Perception, its object, and the act of perceiving, all dissolve within the expanse, the blissful clarity of suchness. Ah. So pause in that spirit of dedication, recollecting our motivation and the efforts that we made to actualize it, and swiftly dedicating all of the merit of our practice to pacification of any obstacles preventing, hindering Lama Zopa Rinpoche's swift return. Clearly visualizing that ripening result, taking root in our minds and the minds of all his disciples, and with all of the collective karma being shifted into the most conducive circumstance for his immediate return to the world in a place where he can be recognized and show the aspect of receiving training and once again taking up his extraordinary bodhisattva activity. All right. Any thoughts or questions? Okay. Well, have a great night.